welcome back to my next video. The previous one we spoke about acidity of the body and how acidity is the foundation for all types of issues. And so acidity often leads to inflammation. I was blissfully unaware of the chronic inflammation cascading through my body, exposing me to all types of health risks. And this was because of my body becoming acidic, and then the acidity being the main foundation for the inflammation. And so I did get a lot of diseases, as I mentioned in my previous video. So, but I want to start off by saying that inflammation is good. Inflammation is a friendly warning. Inflammation is your body telling you there is a problem, and you must discover what your problem is. And that's the key for this particular video or message I want to share for you. You must discover what is causing the inflammation, and not only to deal with it with anti-inflammatories like I did for a long time. Thought it was in and out and it was finished. But how to discover the cause, I guess, is an obvious question. So one understands the inflammation is in short anyway, is a response to the body's internal or outside threats like stress, infection, toxic chemicals, and so forth. Inflammation is the body's attempt at self-protection. Its aim being to remove the harmful stimuli causing the inflammation, including things like damaged cells or irritants and pathogens and an acidic body, and to begin the healing process. Inflammation is the body trying to protect us. I didn't realize that for so long, and so anti-inflammatories was like lying next to my bed. It was always there. So inflammation is good until the cause is found and treated. That's my opinion, okay? Remember, I'm not a doctor, okay, even a health practitioner. I'm just sharing my journey with you on painful legs and bones and joints and feet, all of which I suffered from intensely. So I don't want to say you must do this. If there's any value in listening and then doing what I have done that has been successful, you're shortcutting your journey enormously. And I do have I will have a video about this, the solution, all in one video in time to come. But each of us is unique. We are unique in every aspect. So one needs to experiment oneself with some of the solutions, and also respond to things that are causing irritation maybe in your body. So when something harmful or irritating affects a part of your body, you must understand there's a biological response to try and remove it. Okay? The signs and symptoms of inflammation are specifically acute when you bump yourself and there's a little red swelling that comes up, and that swelling is taken care of by your immune system, by your body through the white blood cells. And so acute will come and it'll last days or a couple of weeks, and it's gone. So don't always shout at your body with anti-inflammatories when it's trying to, do something for itself, or for you, really, I guess. Now, people often think inflammation is infection. Inflammation does not mean infection, even when an infection causes inflammation. Infection is caused by a bacteria, a virus, or fungus, while inflammation is the body's response to it. So I think that will become that I've just told you now is terribly important for you to understand that when we're looking at causes, the cause of the inflammation in your joint is not the cause itself. The inflammation is not the cause, okay? There is another cause, and there's probably a cause stimulating that cause, and I'm going to cover all, I'm going to work through that, because this is all stuff that I discovered for myself. In a healthy situation, inflammation serves as a good friend to our bodies. But if the immune system starts to overreact, that inflammation can be totally directed against us. So, we're starting with just 101 here. We're starting with basics and simple. And realize that the inflammation there is first and foremost your body's defense mechanism at work in the good cause. But just recently, scientists have discovered, and there's always new things being discovered, and it's great. Science really helps us bring stuff to our consciousness, and that's very important. Now the scientists are honing in on another inflammation that could be, well, I think it definitely is, the root cause of many diseases and health problems. This is known as chronic inflammation, or systemic inflammation, I think the other word is. It occurs when your body repeatedly experiences a series of assaults that cause the soldier cells to go into full fighting mode, from which they can never recover. And over time, they begin to create problems in the very organs and systems and bones and joints that they were meant to protect. So inflammation can be hectically cruel if the cause is not found beforehand. The results of chronic inflammation can be dangerous. Chronic inflammation, as science has now told us, is been linked to many, many diseases, like Alzheimer's. And I start with Alzheimer's because, I'm old. And it's like a plague at the moment. It's an epidemic throughout the developed world, Alzheimer's. And it's interestingly, only in the more developed sections of our world's countries. So I mention Alzheimer's first because, I am old, and I guess hopefully those who are listening, I don't hope that they're old, but I hope that they take cognizance of the fact that we're not just talking about painful legs. We're talking about this pandemic called Alzheimer's and dementia, and there are other aspects to it as well. So it's everywhere, and we need to just be aware of it, I think, because the solution we're going to have is going to not only remedy our painful legs, but it's also going to prevent us from getting Alzheimer's, and also prevent the other diseases that inflammation has. Heart disease is very big, and I will talk about that again. Kidney problems, definitely. Kidney is very important in the whole process of painful legs and the liver as well. Inflammation causes issues with cancer, okay, diabetes for sure, okay, and allergies and arthritis and gout, stroke, also, which I had. So inflammation causes all types of diseases. So we need to not just be taking anti-inflammatories, because most of the time we do not know that we have chronic inflammation flowing through our blood and into our brains and out of our brains and throughout our body. So I've taken my own experience and science very seriously, combined the two, and I have started a whole different lifestyle over the last decade, I guess. But every day I find something new, I add it, because not only do I want to, and have already got rid of my painful legs and knees and ankles and joints and bones, but I also want to make sure that all my organs are actually getting younger, which is very possible, and that I can really take off another career and do the things that I really, really love doing. So I will tell you a lot more about that, but I started growing my own veggies and herbs and my own microgreens in pots on my balcony, not in the garden, and because you don't need large quantities, and also you can manipulate the nutrients I say manipulate, make sure that they are properly organic by making sure you have the right soil. But I'll cover all that in another video in due course. But the most important thing that I did that really changed my life was I had a frequency scan of my entire body, and that was really an amazing thing. I went to see Dr. Joyce in Raymond's office, and it took about 3 minutes or thereabouts, and I got a report that showed me what was causing the problems, and the problems I've already mentioned that I have, enormous problems, but it focused on my heart, and it certainly focused on my kidneys and on my liver, and I could see my acidity and other things, and I strongly advise you to, this is a really good place to start, is to have your body scanned. And ever since science uncovered quantum physics, the entire and proving that the entire universe is all electric, is all frequency, color, sound, and it's not physical, because with the very powerful microscope you can see right through an atom. Now you can see they're just revolving electrons and neutrons, and so it just makes no sense to not have a scan. And I was so impressed, I bought my own scan literally the same day, because it was like a new world that opened up to me, and I've had it ever since. And I scan myself at least once a month. I used to do it every week, and I could see, you can see the progress of your health. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's just amazingly beautiful, okay? I strongly, and I recommend you go to my website, because you can get a coupon that will you could pay slightly less, and I get a little commission on it as well. So you'd be doing me a favor and doing yourself a favor by buying one at a slightly reduced price with a coupon. So go and have a look at michaelplumstead.com, and or just make contact with me. I love speaking to people that listen to my videos or read my blogs. So how do we reduce, just an overall, because it'll be part of my solution, how do we reduce chronic inflammation in our bodies? The obvious things that you've heard all your life, and it's really there. Avoid junk food. And don't be clever by saying, well, this isn't junk food because of that. If you think it might be junk food, or somebody else says it's junk food, just assume, if you want to get rid of your painful legs, that it's junk food, okay? And the bad fats, and you've got to have good fats, but the bad fats, the sunflower, refined sunflower oils and vegetable oils, and refined flours. In fact, stay clear of wheat. Not so much gluten, but wheat. There's just so many issues, and you can read one of my blogs on my website about that. So look for foods high in antioxidants, vitamin C and vitamin E, and the good fats. The good fats, like you find in, say, hemp seed oil, in avocados, in butter, and so forth. But they're also on my website, and you can get a detailed list if that's what interests you. So this is what I'm saying is, leave the junk food to once a month, and do the good foods, tasty, healthy, good foods, 30 days a month. The things that, if you want to go away with from this video quickly now, things that lower inflammation is definitely garlic, and generally the onions, but garlic. Grapes, the dark skinned grapes, very good. Herbs and spices of any description. Hemp seed, buy hemp seed, it's a power fat. And nuts, not all the nuts, but nuts like almond and walnuts, okay. Olive oil, as long as it hasn't gone rancid, it's great. And have green tea, as part of your daily routine. Have at least 1 cup. Apple cider vinegar is another good one to get rid of inflammation. But more about that in the future. But if you want it, go to michaelplumstead.com. Sleep is terribly important, okay. And you really have to, as you get older, try and get an undisturbed sleep of 7 to 8 hours. Even longer, but undisturbed, try and avoid getting up and down in the night. Your body gets into a habit, so if you gain every day at like 2 o'clock every morning, and again to the loo, you're waking up at the same time every day. It's a habit, okay, and you've got to just not get up a couple of times, and you'll get through that habit. So sleep definitely helps with chronic inflammation. Exercise is another really good a good way. I'm not talking about that aerobic thrashing yourself. Definitely not. Definitely not. Generally, as we get older, exercise is good, but not like a maniac. All right. But some exercise every day. One of the things, besides the walk that I take every day with my wife, is I dramatically dry myself when I get out of the shower. I take the towel as a resistance, and I hard against me, and I pull hard, and I go all the way down to the feet hard, because it's also working my lymph system as well. So my lymph system's getting good, and then I even down the back all the way to keep my legs straight. So I'm stretching back down, as if I was trying to touch my toes. Then I'd come to the front, and I'd aggressively go all the way down to the front again, and then when I'm drying my back up here, I'm lifting my legs up to my waist, my knees up, like running on the spot or walking on the spot at least. And so when I've dried myself, I'm a little panty, but it's just part of the exercise routine and getting the lymph system to work. Very, very important. And it's a bit of resistance as well. So that's very good. So it's very important to exercise, because exercise will reduce the obvious things. I mean, we're old enough now. Certainly the physical stress that's in the body. It certainly helps curb brain inflammation, exercise does. And it helps build the new nerve cell system, stem cell system. And it helps with the heart system. It improves the muscular mass as well. Very important. It reduces the bone loss and osteoporosis. Just, general exercise. And brisk walks are fine, and throwing your arms around a bit too. So in summary, if you want your health span to keep up with your lifespan, okay, to live longer with good health, two big things, okay. Get diversity of vegetables, organic vegetable, good pure vegetables into your system, and a little bit of daily exercise with a little bit of resistance or light weights perhaps, and maybe you can try that resistance of mine. But in order to get the healing done of your whole system and your blood, and it's all about your immune system first of it, and you know that 60 to 70% of your immune system sits in your gut. But your immune system is the one system that was put there to deal with inflammation. Okay, so we need to get that working well, and that's part of my solution that we will come. But if your gut is in a bad shape, and just about every old person is in a bad shape unless they've been really good at what they've been eating and drinking. So your gut microbiome is the game changer. That's what I discovered, without a doubt. It's the game changer. So you've got to start with the microbiome. And as you know, the microbiome, or you may not know, okay, there are trillions of aliens living inside us. We their host, okay, and we do it as part of us, okay. These bugs or aliens are healthy for us unless you allow inflammation into your system, okay. In fact, they make up something like 90% of the gut. So we're perhaps only 10% human, okay, 90% aliens. So don't condemn those aliens. When you can't control your inflammation through diet and exercise alone, please don't resort to anti-inflammatories, on a weekly basis. I use one particular supplement to this day because I believe it's a miracle substance. It's a natural supplement, and you can also look for it on my website. It's called Aruka, and it's amazing. It deals with cell-to-cell communication, but also food in the cells and the systems within a cell it deals with as well. So, but I would start with testing your whole body with a frequency scan, and definitely, I mean, testing your poop is also another good place to start. I haven't done it, okay, but there's a lot about it recently, and there's a lot that can be found from testing your poop, but it appears to be still quite expensive. And I was thinking of inventing a smart toilet, but I guess somebody will, and then you won't have to go to the doctors to test your poop or anywhere else. Another one is dried blood analysis. Does tell you a lot, but not as much as testing your poop, but also not as much as doing a non-invasive frequency scan to look at all the systems in your body within a couple of minutes, and to find out what is not working that should be working to get your inflammation down. So inflammation is stage one. You've got to get to discover what is that, and inflammation is the foundation, is the key to getting rid of painful legs and feet and joints and ankles and so forth. So repairing the microbiome is step one, and the microbiome, a healthy microbiome, will repair the immune system, which the two really work strongly hand in hand. Trying to fight a war without an army is like trying to heal your painful legs without a healthy microbiome and immune system. So it's definitely where it starts, and my solution has a lot to do with that. So if we want to live many more years, healthy, pain-free years, then microbiome and the immune system, definitely. So in conclusion, what can influence? Come on, this is like a question, $1 million question. No, make it $5,000. Okay, answer the question. How quickly, or what influences how quickly your injuries can heal? What can influence the health of your heart, cardiovascular system? What can influence you, or not influence you, and getting Alzheimer's? And what is going to influence you, whether you are going to get rid of your painful legs and knees and ankles and feet and bones and joints? What is the answer? The answer is inflammation influences all these. So you have to get rid of inflammation before you try any other fancy remedies and pills. So the starting point is influencing the starting points the starting point is getting your microbiome healthy, and I will cover that in the next video.